They'll be calling you a radical. Back to the salmon fishing numbers. So, whoa, that's a little more tricky, ain't it? Come on, yeah. So, back to the salmon numbers. So the catastrophe is going in earnest now. It's really turning into a fucking epic. The salmon collapse, epic nightmare is turning into one mega fucking catastrophe. You could say, oh, this is not Fukushima. Bullshit. Look, we don't count dead whales. We don't count fucking dead anchovies. We don't count dead starving to death sea lions. We don't count dead anything. We don't even count the cancer rate anymore on dead humans. I mean, the insurance company, it's called HIPAA laws. I mean, you don't even put your loved one's cause of death in the OBs anymore. Oh, it's nobody's business. Oh yeah, it's everybody's fucking business. This is a community, you self-righteous fuck. These evangelicals make me want to puke. Fuck, I really, these Bible thumping fuckheads, fucking, it's all fucking, the Jehovah's Witnesses, the Mormons, this is enough, fuck. You socially engineered, arrogant self-fuck. What is organized religion? What is organized religion? It's by definition generational arrogance. So this world's going on without you. In a mutant, they're going to be the most hated generation fucking. And I'm so sick of this heroism. I cannot fucking stand. Look, my dad fucking Special Forces Marine. My fucking uncle was a POW and fucking on the famous fighter pilot. My other uncle fucking Omaha Beach, fucking Battle of the Bulge, one of the most decorated. George Wallen right here, look him up. Fucking. My uncle was just as decorated as him. You didn't see him grandstand, and I knew George. He fucking didn't grandstand. Yeah, I remember fucking my uncle telling me one time when this whole Purple Heart started coming out on fucking, and this guy fucking, he would mail his fucking, I mean, he had every accommodation you could ever fucking dream of. And he stuffed him in the closet. I says, what'd you do with him? He says, I mailed him back. He says, I don't want to relive that shit. Fucking, you know, the flag waving, I mean, he was so against it, it was unbelievable. I remember the first time he saw a guy with a fucking Purple Heart license plate. I thought he was going to beat him to death. I mean, he got in his fucking face like you wouldn't fucking believe. This hero, I mean, this is socially engineered bullshit. You know, so the salmon catastrophe. So Hell's Canyon up there, that's where I grew up fishing. You know, on the fucking Oregon, Idaho border up there. Ontario, Payette, that's my fucking place. Emergency closed. No shark salmon. So, emergency closed in California. Why is California even open? Who the fucking California? How? Endangered Species Act. California's in violation of federal fucking and state law even opening this year. They have rules. Should have never been open. You know, this asshole in fucking Moss Landing. And I don't feel sorry for any of the fishermen. None of them. And I'll tell you why. You know, I talked to them. I walked the whole coast, spent 4 years. I'm talking with fishermen. They attack me. I'm like, why don't you get on my team? How are you going to fish when there's no fish? You know, it's so fucking sad and pathetic. I mean, this is a catastrophe, so it's not like this. Well, no, only one person on fucking Earth fucking hypothesized this and grasped the reality of Fukushima. It's obviously the scar across my face. You can't handle the truth, you don't want the fucking truth. So is there a hole in the ozone? There's no doubt in my fucking mind. What caused the hole in the ozone? Nuclear energy. Fukushima. So, you know, the surfers are out there surfing. Look at those photographs that Al Jazeera took over there. Wow, they're powerful. So I remember San Onofre when we were all surfing 30, 40 years ago. And the same thing, oh, they're dumping into the fucking, oh no, we're not. No, well, we found out they were. Every single person I know from that era, every single person I know that surfed that is dead. Or fucking full of cancer dying. Including me. Fucking. This hypothesis that it takes 20, 30 years to get cancer is untrue. It can give you cancer within 1 day, it can take 10 years, it can take 20 years, it can take 30. It depends on how the fucking free radicals decide to. So like my doctor says, he says, it lays in you. It gets in you from this contamination. There's only one known cause of leukemia and fucking benzene and fucking nuclear fallout. Lays in you like a ladder, he says. And all of a sudden a bump in the head, a bee sting, a smell, a taste. Kicks it. Free radicals fucking cut loose. And it's a motherfucker. I don't think people understand what the ecology is going through, what the animals are going through. The salmon collapsing And they're saying, well, the bears are starving. Fuck, do you know how many incidents of fucking bear attacks have been in Alaska already this year? Fucking all of that showing up. I read this blog, this guy, and he says, this bear was stalking me. Finally had to shoot it. You know, it's happening fucking hourly basis up there. They're starving. You know, it's like the young man who's the jogger. That bear stalked him and fucking took him down, the high school athlete. Killed. They're starving. Starving to death. I mean, it's, you got starving death wells fucking enumerated. All the scientists are mystified. They're baffled. They're fucking puzzled. They're scumbags. No fucking guts. No integrity. But that's the country. Heroism. Wave your fucking flags. Wrap up. I'm so sick of the heroism shit. It's like I got into it with my one buddy today. You know, he went to Nam, and I'm fucking cool with that. You know, the deadbeat dad, never raised his fucking kids. Cocaine, alcoholic. You know, really a piece of shit his whole fucking life. But, you know, he went to Nam, and I'm all fucking, I appreciate those guys, and I know what kind of hell they were in, but who knows what hell he was in. But, you know, he drives around with his stickers all over his fucking car. I says, you get fucking $3,800 a month for life. You're going on 40 years. Do the fucking math. I says, all the real guys that were pounding over there and fighting, they're all dead from Agent Orange. You know, and I appreciate your fucking thing, but come on. Why are you grandstanding? I served fucking, you know, that's several $1 million you've received. How long were you over there? Year? Okay. That's a pretty fucking sweet gig. You know, but I'm sick of it. You can jump on it. I'm fucking tired. So I told him, I says, yeah. So, you know, the military pounding isn't, you know, I got into it and I says, he's talking, I mean, these dogma fuckaburgeries, they just regurgitate like birds from Fox News. The greatest social engineering, the greatest achievement to destroying fucking culture in the United States of America is Fox News. Fox News, fucking Cecil Rhodes invented Fox News long ago. To fucking, it's run right out of the House of Windsor. Right out of fucking London. It's completely fucking the British invasion. Fucking, here they come, the Craftsman. One up by Jetstream, two up by cable TV. Fucking, I can't believe how they narrative. They wrap their I mean, Colbert used to fucking mock it a little bit, but then he would go into Louisville. But, I mean, come on. These guys were, including politicians, word for word. Repeat after me, fucking you mockingbirds. You know, they fall for this. CNN's fake news. Well, what the fuck is Fox News? Of course they're all fake. It's like my line is, I love morning cartoons. I think I'll get up and watch fucking Scarborough on MSNBC, or I'll get up and watch CNN, or I'll get up and watch Foxconn News. Past the fucking Fruit Loops. I mean, the fake calling the fake, fuck, I mean, Donald Trump, I mean, come on. Look at the hair, look at the skin, look at everything. Fuck, there ain't nothing faker. He's a perfect thumbprint for this country. Obama, fucking faked like he was fucking African-American. Faked like he was a progressive. Fake, I mean, it's all fake. It's fake, but Fox News is the fucking champion. I mean, I told him, I said, well, what about Pat Tillman? Oh, fuck, yeah, he was a hero, blah, blah. Hero, he was fucking murdered by his own man. No, the fuck he wasn't. Watch ESPN Outside the Lines. The kid that killed him's already fucking admitting it now. Crying, hey, Tillman, you. Ask fucking the young man that was standing next to Pat Tillman. Go and fucking watch him on the hill. Ask Tillman's mom and dad. I mean, fuck, it's sprayed through the head. They tried to lie to him. It was his mom through the FOIA documents. Look, okay, Jessica Lynch, I told him. Fox News pounded the fuck out. Jessica Lynch, fucking warrior. Listen to what she said. She says she had to sue to give her Congressional Medal of Honor back. You know, she says, total lie. She says, these doctors picked me up, saved me, took care of me. I was cowered down. I was afraid, hiding in. She says, they treated me like gold. I mean, it's fucking, you're just social engineered. I mean, it's so pathetic. And same thing with the fucking ecology. Look what we've done. If you don't think there's a hole in the atmosphere in fucking Fukushima and all this dynamic, look at the pine trees. All the pine trees in California. My pine trees in my yard. Why would they die? Because they're a canary. A pine tree holds radiation inside its needle, right? That's why they stay green. You know, they hold the sun, you know? So that's when you fucking burn one, they explode. So it's from the sun. They get too much, they die. They get enough, they fucking, you know, not enough, they die. You know, and that's what's happened. I mean, there's 100 million fucking dead trees in California. Fucking drought, of course. But what caused the fucking drought? You know, the contributing factor. I mean, the heat source into the fucking, which I call plutonium, nobody can understand that, get that. It's a synergistic fucking effect that's poured in the Pacific Ocean. And you can't argue with me anymore. You know, my PhD stood right here. You know, they're lying, fucking. It's gonna give you leukemia, it's gonna give you leukemia. I got leukemia. I know people understand this fight. You know, I went in with 44 fucking people. There's only one left. By the way, Brian, the guy they patterned the treatment after me, he's out 9 years. It's back in him. People don't know the AML leukemia fight because you're so afraid, because you watch everybody get through the fucking treatment, get through it, and then it just comes back. When it comes back, it mows you down like a fucking wolf, just fucking annihilates you. You know, I've watched it. I've watched it fucking dozens and dozens and dozens of times now. I know that's what I'm up against. I know. You know, I know my fucking heart. I mean, I was born with an aortic valve, but fuck, come on. Fucking chemo into my jug. I had no choice. The fucking tumors were so... I was losing 7, 8, 9, 10 pounds a day. So, what a war. What a fight. So, we go on. But the salmon collapsed, so they've taken the salmon down projection-wise. Now remember, the projections for this year were lowered by half 6 months ago after they started to seed 2016. These salmon go to seed for 5 years, a lot of them. And that's why this is getting worse. So, oh, it's just the Chinook, oh, they'll be all right, we're going to get a miracle, they're just late. Now the sockeye have collapsed even worse than the Chinook. You know, so they've lowered the projections to half. They went from 400,000 on the Bonneville to the sockeye to 200,000. Now they've cut it in half to 100,000. That's just in 6 months. And you go back to the 2 years ago projection. Now remember, 2015 they had record numbers. They had record numbers in 2015. So, after the record numbers in 2015, they collapsed. That record escapement record, their projections for 2017, it's like the Copper River right now, their projections for 2016 were 1.3 million. They came in at 800,000. You know, these projections start, I mean, not, you can talk to the fucking guides up there, the longtime fishermen, they'll say they've never seen anything like this. It's just total collapse, and you know, they call it the pasture. There's a problem with the pasture. It's the Pacific Ocean. It's not a pasture. You know, that's where they spend almost all of their lives. They just come to Oregon and Washington and Alaska and lay their eggs, you know, at the end of their life, you know, the life cycle. Their home for all those years is the Pacific Ocean. It's poison. It's toxic. And dead whales, fucking orcas fucking starving to death. I mean, the orcas are so smart, sophisticated, they quit breeding and giving birth because they knew. I mean, they're so socially intelligent, in tune with the environment, they know, don't give birth, don't have birth. Because the child will not survive. The baby won't survive. You know, so that's where it's gone. That's where we're at. It's a catastrophe. It's a nightmare. This, you can't argue with it. I said in 2016, the salmon will fucking collapse. They will collapse. You know, my hypothesis. That's what a great PhD, not these peer review, not all academia is a fraud. Academia in the United States, real PhD hypothesis. Fukushima's going to pour into it. They're just going to lie. They're going to lie. They're going to dump water on it and push it into the ocean. That's why in the jet stream, early days, yeah, it pounded us. You know, I got leukemia right after Fukushima. We know right here got pounded. Was a contributing factor to my leukemia. My dad being, when I'm in the John Hopkins 1% study. I'm in that John Hopkins 1% study. They talk to me once a month now. We go through the whole thing. Now they're finding out that the predisposition for AML now, which I've been saying the whole time, no to listen, the children of the atomic veterans. Because my dad was radiated hardcore, now we know they're children. And they're coming around to that finally, knowing that you do have a predisposition. For years they say, oh, it can't pass through that sperm. Of course it can. And we'll know that. And then they're like, the 1% survivors, you know what the two common denominators they're finding on 1%ers, which I'm a 1%er, is of the survival of this cancer that I have. Risk takers. Risk takers and good with numbers. I mean, bizarro. So, we count salmon. We count every one of them. Because they're a commodity and they're worth a lot of fucking money. You know, it's a big piece of economies. Because we traded in our fucking health for somebody else's wealth a long time ago. It's your pseudo-de facto theology, liars. It's your pseudo-facto sociology, liars. It's your biology, oh yeah. Is it your unborn's biology? Is it the animals? It's everything. Is it? It's the ecology, stupid. So, the Fukushima 50. You remember those guys went in? You know how long it was till he died of the head of the Fukushima in his esophagus, which nuclear fallout in the early days, one of the big attackers is, of course, strontium heart, give you a heart attack. is esophagus cancer. I mean, you look at the rate of lung cancer. So they label a lot of the cancers as lung cancer, when a lot of the cancers is lung cancer, that's the end of the byproduct. Like if I die, or these people die, because it's a soft tissue, attacks the lungs. So the cause of death officially in the coroner will say it was the lungs, when it was AML, leukemia, when it was anything, because that's what the radicals do, the biggest soft tissue, the lungs. And so that's how almost everybody goes when they have cancer. It's the lungs that take them. And so finally, in their death cycle. And so this salmon collapse is epic. And this patriotism, flag waving fucking bullshit, socially engineered fucking in the last post fucking Bush stealing the election, 9/11. I mean, you think about where we've gone with this flag waving fake patriotism fucking, you know, I mean, they stand up in airports when kids are going to this, you know, I fly to San Diego so much, that's at the San Diego airport's with a processing center for the young Marines. I sit with these young Marines. I was head of the Atomic Veterans, and you know, at the Utah VA, I've been doing it for my whole life. I'm one of those, my dad, you know, that's where he fucking spent most of his life, so I've been involved in that organization my whole life. I sit with these kids as they're suicidal, as they're dying, as these people, as they're full of cancer. You know, people stand up and clap. They use white phosphorus on their phone. Fucking man, nothing new. Look at the USS Reagan, 32. They don't care. The wheels of injustice, and they'll ever get compensated. How do you compensate somebody for that? It's like the feds on the Atomic Veterans. They paid a lot of people, not my mom, not my dad. And what good's the money going to do me? Ain't going to bring him back. You know, it's going to save me. You know, fuck. All my money done been spent. I was a millionaire when I got sick. To zero. I was uninsured, working on a PhD, working on this PhD. The Great Pacific Genocide. It's going to give you leukemia. I got leukemia. I was uninsured. Fucked over every penny. Been in the fight of my life from hell for 6 years. You know, I haven't felt good for 6 years, but maybe a few days here. You know, what a fight I'm in. So, like the salmon, like the Pacific Ocean, like the bears, like the fucking moose, like the fucking, all these animals that have collapsed. The insects, I mean, everything's collapsed. You're in denial. You're in denial. This isn't a fucking gradual fucking death. It's like acute AML leukemia. It's, I was in perfect good health till fucking October of 2011, just a stomach ache one day. My whole world was flipped. All of our whole world. I started the new calendar. I'm like, you're in denial. Every one of those surfers over there will die of cancer. Every one of them. You know, it's just a matter of time. Who knows when it will affect them? You know, to test their cancer, fucking liver cancer, all of these cancer. I mean, this radiation, this isn't background radiation. This is food. This, what I call, I mean, these are full blown out mox fuel, fast breeder, fucking experimental, the nasty of the fucking nasty. All blew to smithereens. Their answers to then dump fresh water on it, pour it in the Pacific Ocean for 2,313 fucking days. Do you think there's no consequence to that? It's like I told the ecologist yesterday, biologist in Oregon. Do you think it's all Fukushima, Kevin? I says, for every action, there's a reaction. 2,300 days of denial, this whole fucking Fukushima and the cover-up, that's one hell of a fucking action. The Great Pacific Genocide, you hypothesize, then you physically do the fucking work. Walking up, now I've done so much fucking work in 6 years, walked the entire coast of California, dog, fucking Cassandra-like. Then you defend your fucking work, you know. I ordered myself my PhD because nobody else will do it. Stay tuned, and thanks for all the fucking support, everyone.